What's good, everybody? Off the Menu Podcast, episode 119.
119.
And as you can see, we're in a new location temporarily. But I'm here with my brothers, my co-host Tay, Moose,
We in Gotham.
and a very special guest, Eddy, Ekpo, creative director, visual artist, entrepreneur, and you could say chef. You name it, go-getter, big stepper, going crazy. It's been a while for me. Give me a break. Been a long weekend also.
Take it easy on them, guys.
We're trying here, you know?
It sounds like you're going to say big.
Damn it.
You're like big dip. I was like, whoa.
Well.
And IT technical support in the back, Sifu Ying and Matt Fat.
Baby.
But thank you guys for tuning in to episode 119 Off the Menu Podcast. We're kind of rusty at this. We took 1 week off, and I feel rusty.
It's a little, yeah.
As you can tell, change of scenery. Change of
Eddie
scenery.
just got us nervous.
Yeah, we were talking about movies already, and I was already getting ready into that question already. It's like, what's your favorite movie? And then, but now we'll go ahead and but introduce to this new the setup here is we're at a warehouse. We're at Priority Source. If you guys want to buy vapes, you guys need to distribute vapes, come here to Priority Source. That is our sponsor for the video.
Oh, yeah, they really are, dude.
They're
Oh,
out there
thank you.
smiling.
Located in Gotham.
They hooked us up with chips, water, coconut water.
We got
and a
everything.
We
space.
got everything in a space, yeah.
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 But thank you guys for tuning in once again. It's been a wild ride for sure with changing, and we've now been in 3 different locations kind of from the first the first shoot where it was just a black wall.
Yeah.
that will always be the worst one ever.
We thought it was a good idea.
Sorry, that's my
I mean,
fault.
someone had to be like, this is hard.
Yeah.
All of us were like,
and then the rest of y'all followed that direction.
It was crazy because all of us wore black, so it didn't fit.
Yeah, you're just seeing like brown faces just
We're Muppets and shit. Damn.
And then we, switched the room where Brian Chow was our first guest in that one.
Yep.
And now
was
today
gone.
we have Eddy Ekpo here on the first set of the new warehouse where we'll be sitting here for the next couple of months until we figure out what direction we really want to go into with the podcast, if we will still be doing it at the end of the year. I know a lot of people out there are saying we should keep going. All the love is there, but we need to start seeing it to show.
then you should like and subscribe.
There we go.
Like and subscribe, honestly.
Turn your
Like and
notifications
subscribe.
on.
That's all. That's all you guys have to do, and then we'll be able to do this and make money, so we have a reason to keep going.
Like all the followers on Instagram, you guys should be subscribers on YouTube. And we have like 1,200 followers on Instagram, and we don't have 1,200 subscribers on YouTube. So
It's crazy. It's 50% though.
it is 50%. So the half of y'all
That's
need
crazy,
to get over on YouTube, and half of y'all, I don't really have a YouTube. We'll make one. All right. Use the
doesn't
email.
have YouTube?
Use the. Well, they don't have a YouTube account. So use the email you have for your Instagram and make that account. Appreciate you.
Straight up.
I know everyone's lying.
We love you guys.
When you
I
say
know.
you don't have a
I
YouTube
know, I know.
account and YouTube's been
But I'm
around
just
longer
being-
than most of them,
I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. I hope you're not lying to me.
yeah,
Damn.
we know
Let's-
YouTube's older than some of the guests we've had on here.
Yeah.
That's
Oh.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What the
Right?
fuck? No, honestly, but for real, thank you to everybody that does support, because there's a lot of you guys. The love is real. So, yeah, but fucking, what are you doing? I don't understand.
I know every time I'm outside, it's that thing. Like, you do the podcast, right? If you need me on, man. I'm like, sure, dude. Sure, man.
But let's just say this. It's been really fun.
yeah.
No, the ride has been amazing.
Yeah.
But now it's starting to catch up to the point where like it's starting to not show how amazing it really is.
Yeah.
It's a tough world out there.
It is.
Yeah, it's a tough
And I get it. We're in a world of too much is going on.
Well, everything's just oversaturated.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Everything in like pop culture is just
There's a
very
lot of everything.
oversaturated because I just think about like when we didn't have internet, we actually had to go do things and meet people. You can just talk to somebody online now. It's so easy to reach out to somebody, which is very nice and very convenient, but it also loses some authenticity of the creative aspect of things because people are just like taking things from others and not making their own.
Well, it's like we're all influenced by other things, right?
Absolutely.
But then, and also like this, we knew the challenges. We knew everything that kind of were like,
Yeah.
even the stigma of having a podcast, right? But it's just, I just saw it as like we're just investing in ourselves. We've done a lot of things that we usually don't do.
Yeah.
Meet a lot of people we usually don't meet.
Yep.
And we just investing.
I mean,
in
for our
ourselves.
sake, yeah, it's amazing. But it's one of those things where like Tay says, he does a lot of the back
does,
work, and it's
100%.
like overload almost sometimes. So
Well, and also not to be ungrateful, but I've been really grateful because I watched the first video of when we did the local disorder.
yeah,
If you go back and rewatch that video and then look at every guest we had following that video, we've had 90% of the people that were on that.
yeah,
And it was just crazy to look back. I'm like, man, and we really were outside really doing this and then had all these people on and it's all been great.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying any episodes are
yeah.
bad. I'm just not saying any of that. I'm just saying just subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. Interaction.
We need money.
interact
bro.
with us, comment, ask questions, please.
We honestly don't need money, but we need.
I would love money.
Yeah, that would be great. But
all love money.
it would also just be great that the numbers show for itself.
Yeah.
To give us the opportunities to be in places where we want to reach. You know, there are a lot of people that are saying, "Why aren't you guys doing this? Why aren't you doing that?" I'm like, I didn't even know we could do that.
I'm gunning for a network. Pick us up.
Network. Oh,
Cast us for something, man. I got
that
you.
would be nice, huh? What network out there would you want to be picked up by?
That's a great question. That's a great question because
Damn. What,
the only
which
thing that
one
makes
would it
sense
be?
for our demographic
Konami.
would be complex. Konami, fuck, dude. Funimation.
We would have to pivot a little bit.
Us
on
and
that.
they have
We
to
can do
animate us,
that.
but we just do voiceover.
I could-
Okay,
do
let me
that.
answer, and then we'll get to the episode. Right? It's either get this. So it's either complex would be the easy one because our demographic it would fit the vibe.
Okay, complex is not bad. Okay.
But then you also have Vice, but they also did rebrand and do a lot of different things. So
Yeah.
not on the same tip.
Yeah.
But bringing something back to greatness would be awesome. And then lastly, this would be crazy, fucking GQ, because we could finally do a fashion podcast. And because GQ covers everything that we talk about.
Right.
Movies, music, fashion, food.
That's true.
You know, bullshit, conspiracies. Like, I'm so down. So, yeah.
Those were pretty good, actually.
Those are
Would
the
you
mon-
guys like MC? Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah.
This
I don't know.
specific spots. You know.
Like, I don't know, host the talk show. Because I love talk shows growing up.
Yeah.
So someone pick us up for their talk show.
Yeah, well, we
Or take-
they,
Well, like how Barstool did that for whatever. What's her name?
Hawktua?
No,
Wait, who picked her up?
Alexandra Nunn or whatever her name is.
I don't even know. There's so many out there now.
Yeah, but they are Call Her Daddy or whatever. Because
Oh.
Barstool picked up her,
true
yeah.
that.
It was supposed to be Sophia and Alexandra, but they didn't reach agreement, so now it's just Alexandra. And she gets paid by Dave Portnoy and Barstool.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The only reason why I pick those networks is because they do more than just one thing.
Yeah.
So we can. There's just like a lot of opportunity.
So you think we're versatile enough to
And
do that?
versatile enough, yeah. We like all different things, and we dress really nice, and we're well-spoken individuals, you know, and we're funny and charming and handsome,
Wow.
representing for the culture. You know what I'm saying?
This guy's glazing.
I don't know.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I think it was the Tyler the Creator album got me today, man. I feel on top of the world.
Really, that album, I've not finished it yet.
I literally woke up this morning and that was the first thing I did. I put it on in the car.
I was gonna do that at the gym.
Music always sounds better in the car for some reason.
Yes,
And I
agree.
listened to the whole album. I even took the long way to work. I left a little earlier today so I could have more time listening to the album.
Yeah.
And then I put my headphones on at work and I listened to it again and I was like, you know what? I get you, Tyler. I get it.
No, it's really
I
good
get
so
it.
far.
Very good, very good.
I feel it now.
Melodically, very good
Yeah.
so far.
He
Oh
was
my
just
gosh.
storytelling the whole time.
No,
He
yeah.
was just talking about childhood stuff,
yeah,
a lot of sexual stuff,
a lot of singing, a lot of
Oh,
yeah.
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 But yeah, no. But thank you guys for letting us banter at that. Thank you, Eddie, for letting us banter early on.
We
but
always do that.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and get into the episode. For the viewers, who are you and what do you do?
I'm Eddy Ekpo. Well, my first name is my actual name is Eddy. But a lot of people here can't pronounce my name, so we just go by Eddy. And I am a creative in Salt Lake City, Utah. I've been doing this for about 5-6 years, just locally. But I've been in the States for about 12 years. About
12.
about 12 years, and I love what I do. I mean, we could go. I'm a man of depth. You might actually coming in today. I was like, you can't go too deep today because I go on this vortex.
Yeah.
I just keep going deeper and deeper, but it's just who I am as an individual. That's why a lot of my pieces show that depth.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to convey to the people, the story. Pretty much, I'm just a curious man that's always down to storytelling. Whatever creative outlet I can, grab.
Right.
And I've just been honored, blessed enough to have mastered a couple mediums to, portray a couple stories I'm trying to tell,
Right.
push out to the community. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, because I noticed on your social media when we found out we were gonna have you on the show, I was like, I was looking at your feed and you do everything. I was trying to figure out like, it's like he does all this. Everything is very different from.
Did it
post to
feel
post.
saturated though?
Oh no, not at all. It felt like I just really saw your vibe, and it was like I don't know. I think I respect
in a
anybody
way,
that's doing that.
in a way, when I was looking at it, it was more of a journey of seeing who you are artistically. You got to see a lot of the challenges, but also a lot of the open-mindedness of different things. You know, when you read your bio and there's like a few things in there, you're like, okay, so you kind of like you just want to do anything that you can that you feel at that time, right? And so going through your feed, you kind of go through a little journey of it. It's like it'll be a painting, or then it'll be a picture of something, or it just takes you on like a colorful journey that you wouldn't have expected from something here in Salt Lake.
Because sometimes, I love. Wow. No, that's crazy, bro. Because I've been thinking a lot about that shit. Real talk. A lot of times what will happen is you have a lot of artists will have the post syndrome. I forget the word per se or the term, but what would happen is you doubt yourself a lot, right? And you're just out here thinking, I'm doing the most, when in reality, what it is I know maybe photography could portray this way better than poetry or whatever it is. And I just feel this urge or need to, let me go and put in the work and learn that medium so I can, in the best way, at least how I see my mind, in the best way, push it out there and hope that people receive and understand exactly what the fuck I'm trying to say. Or more importantly, what's actually an important issue that's needed to be pushed out there. So that's kind of the gist of how I navigate the whole thing,
And you convey it really well.
Yeah.
I was able to just pick up on that, just looking over 5 minutes of I had to look over it multiple times just to see what I was looking at. And I was just trying to, that was kind of where my mind grasped it. Right. And so I was like, okay, I get it.
No, it's. Oh my God, I literally just left my brain, my thought. Oh my God. No, okay, I got it. But that's something that a lot of artists struggle with too, is like the constant doubting and the constant like, I don't know if anybody's gonna like this. So it's like they keep it for themselves. And I only know it from experience because I do that a lot. But it's like you have successfully kind of just been able to like get over that, which I'm pretty damn envious about. Right. Was there like an experience that you had that kind of like got you that mentality?
Just keep going, better and stuff. So you remember how we started, or at least we talked about how it's almost like I had no choice or no option, right? With entrepreneurial spirit. It's actually it's the child in me, right? I keep bringing that up a lot of fucking times, and I keep telling people, do not. I talked to my brother 2 days ago, and he wants to, he originally wanted to be a pilot. And now he's playing a lot of games. He's in that world, and I hope my mama, please forgive. I hope my mama doesn't listen to this shit. But because my mom was, she's concerned, and Nigerian moms especially, they just think a certain way and love her to death. But it's funny because my brother and I, we completely synced as we were communicating, and there were things he was communicating with me. He was trying to make sure my mom did not know what was going on. He's only 13 years old.
Okay.
So we were talking, and we discussed on how there's multiple different options to, do this full term like game developer or graphic design or whatever it is, and we just had a good time just like discussing what's possible and what's not, right? But my point is, I see him in this stage though where he's a kid. And he's got that energy, he's got that passion, right? And I'm so fucking glad I never lost that passion. I never lost that kid version of me. I don't know, maybe because you call me stubborn, or I don't know what it is. I don't like being controlled in that aspect. And I just felt like, yes, there's a lot of things I understand growing up, but I don't want to grow up, you know? Because if I do, I know I'm going to lose certain parts of myself, my personality. And I just feel like my fucking purpose, what I feel genuinely what I was brought here to do. And it just happened to be that a lot of that shit was linked in or connected to what I was already doing as a kid, And I mean, I would watch Scooby-Doo, Spider-Man, the whole thing, and I would just try and imitate or mimic those things as much as I could. and it felt like, I mean, it just felt like I was looking at a fucking different planet, you know, it just felt so good. So I just made sure to always keep that part of me because I generally love that feeling, you know?
Yeah. And that's crazy that you say that because, like, you know, when they say that your dreams die as a child, you become an adult, right? And that's why a lot of us in this generation now have not reached the point. We are now in between limbo of like being adults and then still being a child because we don't want to let those dreams die. But also because we have more opportunities that will allow us to, you know, be put in these positions that can make those dreams come true. And so I do want to ask though, is when did you figure that this was a journey that you would want to go on? Because you said you started around 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And what was the initial reason that you started this journey?
Again, it was more so just connecting to different aspects of my life back when I was a kid that I felt like I absolutely could not lose, you know. Now, an information I don't really tell folks out there is I served the Mormon missionary mission, and when the funniest thing happened, you know, being there, you know, going around talking to people. It felt good. But a lot of the time I just felt like I was being neglected from possibly what I should be doing right now as an artist, you know, the opportunities, the resources, whatever it is. I just felt like I didn't have it there. So it felt like I was starved because it's very, you know, it's a regime and it's like this, you got to go this, it's very structured. You know what I'm saying? So the most I could do as an artist was how I talked, how I was animated a lot of times, the things I'll do here and there a little bit, but it just low-key felt like I was a prisoner. I mean, no offense to whoever is doing it right now, but I felt like I was a prisoner and it felt like I couldn't really, you know, just scream or whatever it is, just express myself loudly as much as I wanted to. So it hit me that I was like, oh shit, like this could be my first love. You know, it's like the first time I genuinely just actually thought about like, wow, oh shit, like I think I'm in love with my purpose, you know? And I just could not get rid of that ambition, that fire, that drive in me. And it just made sense to just keep pushing and keep going, you know? So
beautiful.
if that answers your question.
Yes. Yes. That's perfect. Yeah.
How old were you when it was 6 years ago?
Because I'm 30 now, right?
Okay, 6, 7 years?
So 24, 23.
And that's when you decided to make this creative journey in creative directing and visual arts, or were you already doing that prior, like when you were a kid in Nigeria, you know?
Right. So I think in more in a large scale, right? Larger scale.
Yeah.
And also, you know, there was a lot of, you know, that's where the entrepreneurial vision or journey started. But it was more so just experimenting, right?
Right.
I knew in the long run, I just did it. I just kind of just wanted to earn my own money and do things my own self.
Yeah.
And what had happened was I had started not even thinking about that, right? That vision or goal whatsoever. But what had happened was, you know, I had people come through, say, oh shit, like that's crazy. Have you thought about, boom, let me give you the opportunity to, you know, do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And at least then I was like, oh shit, like you actually pay me to do, you actually pay me to create for you? That's insane. Cause you know, I think I took a picture of a twig and motherfucker was like, that's the sexiest picture of a twig I've ever seen in my life. I was like, what the? Right.
So that's not what I saw, but if that's what you see.
But, you know, he said it, and, you know, that's when he was like, you should consider doing this. And, you know, and then, you know, I kept working and more people came in and I was like, oh shit, this feels good. And, you know, long story short, I've just been with it for a minute, you know.
Yeah. So have you always been drawing? Because from the pieces I'm saying, you're doing paint. Is that?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
So painting, have you been painting since you were young?
Not in the larger scale this way.
Right, of course.
It's been more
just like a hobby.
Doodling.
Yeah.
A lot of doodling, and you know, I was that weird kid in high school, you know what I'm saying? I just always minding my business, just doodling, doing my thing. But the ones I did notice, thank God, they did, and So I say thank God because some of them I've actually real time today in the present have worked with them now.
Yeah.
Even though they were in high school then. But my point is, it was a lot of just experiment and always want to do something with my hands, and especially just loving the story. So obviously that just pushed me to wanted to do more and research more and be more curious. As a kid, even.
Yeah.
I wrote a book when I was a kid, though. So
Okay.
that's definitely
Whoa.
that's my biggest accomplishment. Real talk. Like till today, I keep trying to revisit that version, but it's so hard. I just know I don't know what it is, but I was so disciplined, like motherfucker, for real. I do not know. Maybe I was just extremely bored. I don't know, but I know I did it. And it was weird because like my sisters were my biggest fans, because I would write I write one chapter and then my sister, are you done? Because we want to go ahead and read that chapter. And
Right.
I just didn't think people would, it was just a thing for
That's
me,
tight.
it was a thing for me. And just to see that people were interested, I was like, oh shit, maybe there's something here. You know what I'm saying?
What kind of book? Like what genre?
Oh man, it was a sad story. Such a sad. I look back like, man, you were a sad human fucking being. But no,
At 8 years old?
no. Hey, what was it? Imagine. No, it was 10, 11,
10, 11,
10,
still.
11, 12. I think. But it was as much as it was sad, it was a drama of, pushing through and being strong, tenacious, not letting people tell you can't be successful, So just it's about this kid that just his struggles of then I think it was Blood Diamond I watched that motivated me because I really felt that movie. That motivated me to keep pushing.
That's a heavy movie.
That is heavy.
Yeah.
As a kid, you watching that shit as a kid, huh?
Yeah. I was like when my dad and my uncles were watching a movie.
Dio,
And I just
where's the
like,
diamond? Was that pretty good?
I wouldn't know though, right? Because I'm not from that country.
Right, it's fair.
But so I could be fooled too. But that sounded pretty. I think that sounded okay.
It's because my friends, they always say that for some reason. When we're playing games, they just say that. Dio, where's the diamond?
oh my God.
But yeah, I forgot to say I'm glad to be here. I know it's
Oh, dude, yeah.
I know it's short.
It's never too late.
We're way into the conversation. But Rota, I love what y'all doing for the community. I think it's pretty crazy. Just the fact. I mean, I told a friend of mine I'm coming here, and she was like, "Oh, that's cool. What is it like? What's the atmosphere?" I was like, "It's just 3 people, and they seem to just goof around. They seem to just goof around, and they're just talking. And I just like, that shit that is real. That's where I want to be.
Thank you.
Because I feel like I just want to be real too. I want to have a great time conversation.
Yeah.
I said I would say that real quick.
Oh,
Thank you. That means a lot
Yeah,
because
honestly.
we've been told that we're really professional. We've been told
By
that
some people,
we goof off too much, but I'm just like, dude, the whole point of this podcast was to honestly just sit with each other and just have fun, conversate, meet with each other once a week, check up on each other, and give the opportunity to provide a space where we can be open.
Yeah.
Because we spend a lot of our time 9 to 5. Trying to be creative, do all this stuff, but then when we have an opportunity to sit down with guests and amongst each other, it's more of a special thing that we've had been able to do the last year and a half.
That's right.
But thank you because that does mean a lot.
It means a lot when people, they always come in at first like, oh, we don't know what to expect. And they sit down for like 10 to 15 minutes and they're like, wait, that was so fun. I could have done that for like another hour, and then they just enjoy themselves. And people are able to get vulnerable, and that's all we ask. We just want you to be yourself and have that conversation with us. Right. Once again, it's up to you to decide if other people want to hear, and we're just here to make sure that you're comfortable enough to say what you want.
Last compliment, I ain't trying to make your head swell too much.
Oh,
I'm just saying that y'all are part of making people vulnerable, though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah?
Because, we're just very stubborn species, and we don't really open up, So.
Yeah.
I don't think people
Good
get
job.
the opportunity to, like
Honestly.
everyday life, we're not
Yeah.
able to be like, I feel this way about something, like in here when we're very much used to talking to each other too.
Right.
So it's like, we really do just get to do that. And the fact that we get to do that with guests, like we talked about like our end of year in the beginning of this year,
Yeah.
like episode that our favorite thing was when people just like let down the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really just become something that we enjoy.
You got to tell me the episode y'all laughed so hard though. I need to. Do you remember?
Oh, dude, it was
100th
either
episode probably.
The 100 episode was funny because we had a lot of people.
Yeah.
We had 16 returning guests do the Hot Ones challenge.
a gauntlet, dude.
So it was just it actually messed up at the very beginning when he swapped out the wings and turned it the wrong way
For one of our hosts.
and he ate it. He's
He
like
ate the hottest
he's
wing
like,
first.
Yo, that shit hot. Is that the right one? And then then one of the other guests, his was
the right
turned
one?
too.
Yeah.
And then they both ate the hot one first. They both ate the last
Amar.
dab first.
Yeah, Amar
And then so that one was funny. It was just so much going on in that video though. So it was just like it was fun to see that everyone still came back and gave us the opportunity to come back and do this and eat spicy wings and just sit here and talk with us again. And then I think Eurovamp
Eurovamp was
Eurovamp was really
one of my
funny.
favorites,
Yeah,
bro.
he's
Manson was really funny.
Manson's we've actually had a few.
We've had
Yeah.
good ones.
We had a recent one too, which is cracking me. Oh, Kyler Vick.
Kyler Vick.
Kyler Vick,
Yeah,
but he's like
sick.
a stunt man, a homegrown stunt
Oh,
man.
I did. I just see. I saw.
Bro, he's literally jackass, Utah jackass.
He's a straight badass.
Yeah, he jumping
He's
in
doing front
trees.
flips in pine trees, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy.
Well, one thing I want to say about him too, because you would think he's a crazy guy. I met him. He's very like put together.
Mm-hmm.
He's very like he just knows that he wants to live healthy.
They usually are.
His
Very put
yeah,
together, yeah.
his mindset was awesome. I was like, damn, I'm more of a shithead than I thought because he's doing everything.
It was
man.
crazy to see his mindset because you would think that someone that does that for a living, that puts himself through that, would be kind of like crazy in the head. But then you sit and talk with him, and then you have the opportunity to really let him speak, and he's like, you know, I like being sober, so I won't. But I like finding stuff that helps me feel the need to live life. And he puts himself at the edge of
Putting his
life,
life
the
in
danger,
danger.
and that's because he once again he's battling sobriety, and that's a lot of people don't get to see that side of it. And because of that stuff that he was living in, he had to choose a different direction. But he does ice baths. He does everything to keep his body healthy, except for the crazy shit that he does, which is so crazy to me because you see the videos, you're like, who impales himself with glass?
Yeah, he
Who?
got impaled.
He was literally
Impaled?
he was literally gonna bring a freaking stapler and staple himself on the podcast.
Yeah, he was like, I don't know if you guys wanted to do it with me, and I was like, oh man.
he was gonna push a thumbtack through his finger. And I was like, "What are you talking about? I just want to talk to you."
I had a feeling that he.
What
wanted
is that
to,
pain
too.
tolerance, bro? What the
It's
fuck?
crazy.
crazy,
It's
man.
crazy. But no, yeah, and I think this has just been really enjoyable. That not even just the conversations, but we get to enjoy some laughter with our guests. You know, because a lot of times when you're going on or watching a podcast with someone else, a lot of it's just like serious stuff. You know,
Yeah.
and that's
Oh, yeah.
and that's a lot of it too. Here is that we do want to make sure that we are being vulnerable in front of people, letting them, hey, as Southeast Asian men, that was the whole thing too, is that representing a Southeast Asian culture, not only just the culture, but as men from that culture, we want to show is like, hey, if you're out there, we have Laos people, Vietnamese people, Thai people that want to do this as well, but don't know where to start. There's not an outlet for Asians and Asian Americans to do this kind of stuff. Because a lot of the content creators that are doing this stuff are like younger kids that are coming out of college that, hey, I drank last weekend, or I went to a rave, and that's what they talk about, and that's
And
how people
SoCal
depict.
Asians.
You know, that's a lot of the depiction of Asians in America. That's
Yeah.
what they do. But really, we just like hanging out, talking about movies. We love sports. We love arts.
Anime, arts.
That's what really pulled this all together was fashion, you know, and arts.
Yeah, and conspiracies.
Yeah. We do love
Not
our
to mention.
conspiracies.
Dude, we do. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I gotta take it there.
But so with your journey now, what has been the biggest thing or biggest takeaway for you from this journey, and that where is it putting you now as a person here?
There's got to be some kind of spirituality I never saw coming, right? Because I grew up LDS, but just tapping into this world, this industry has been. It's because it does do things that you've experienced. The way I grew up being LDS. So I did, because I did try my best, but I did sin as well. No one's perfect. But I think I did want to, I did want to believe in what the claim was, right? Because it was important to me that some things made sense with it. But, stepping away from it and then doing a lot of art more consistently, what had happened was it just shit. It's almost like, look, if you don't have to believe or whatever is out there. It's almost like this thing is so loving. It's given folks different outlets to almost understand that there has to be more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Be it whatever religion or be art or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just felt like that me tapping into that industry, that was a lot of new spirituality that humbled the hell out of me and just taught me a lot. So I never really saw that part coming. I just thought, just be creative, do things, whatever, fuck it, right? But then that was cool to experience, and knowing that I keep telling people this a lot and shit. I swear people just, he's probably crazy. But I swear to God, I genuinely feel there's some kind of power pull or source that kind of engages with me, like, hey, create this rather than, okay, this is what I came into that canvas to do or into that story to do. But something keeps like, hold up, we're not fucking doing that shit, right?
Yeah.
Rather, we're gonna do this, and then sometimes it's hard to accept it, but when I do accept it, it's wild what happens after. One example is the reaction. You have certain people, like, what made you do that? And to be frank, I don't know. But then they go ahead and tell you their life story. They go ahead and tell you this. They go ahead and tell you how that thing connected to them. And you're just like, yo, this is fucking crazy. You just got to step back a little and just process what the hell just happened there, right?
Yeah.
So that is spirituality. That's when I say spirituality, that's the experience right there. Something I never experienced.
So something like that takes over when you're creating something, essentially.
Yeah,
Like takes over. Like I don't want to say gut instinct, but it almost feels like that's what it is. It's just like something that in you is like, hey, you should do this. And you're like, well, hold on. Okay, and you do it, and it comes out a way that you didn't really expect when you initially came into it.
Absolutely. That's why a lot of people do a lot of abstract pieces.
Yeah.
Because abstract is a perfect medium to just like tap into that world, in a sense. So it's humbling, but it's one of the most beautiful feeling anyone could ever experience.
Yeah.
Wow. You blew me away with that.
I can only imagine, because I've never, I don't think we've ever made an art piece in a sense, right, and put it in a showcase. I can only imagine if a person came up to me and said, this is how they felt when they saw it, or this what made me think of my childhood, or whatever it may be. I can only imagine, that kind of scenario.
Is a trip.
That's what I'm saying, because I wasn't even thinking of you at all. And you come up to me and say, this is what you felt when you've seen this. It's just,
That is a crazy feeling because we recently, we went to LA earlier this year. We went to a showcase where we got to see a short film, but also in the showcase, he introduced 3 Asian American artists, and they all had different depictions of their art.
Okay.
So he had this girlfriend there who had she doesn't like her voice, but the way she portrayed her art was through these old MP3s where her poems or her thoughts, she would read them to you. You put the headphones on and she's reading you her thoughts about how her life is, and then every single section was a different journey of her life, whether she was talking about how it is to be a female in living in New York, or how it felt living with Asian American parents, and all this kind of stuff. And then you go into another room, and then there's another artist, and she has one of those I don't forget what they're called. It's one of those cameras that have
point and clicks.
No, it's the twisty ones. As a kid, they had the little Toy Story pictures, is images of film and stuff.
Oh, really?
But you click it and then you can see through it. But what she did, she took it's a
Oh,
wheel,
there
right?
we go,
But what she did was
Slideshow.
she picked a lot of the images that she really wanted to portray in these stories. So one was about being a mermaid and underwater, and then the way she edited it, every time you clicked on it, it just kept making you feel like you were swimming deeper and deeper. And then there was other ones where her adventures are Vietnam or something, and it was just crazy to see because you never think about what the artist is really going through or how the artist. You just look at the art and you're like, wow, that's beautiful. But then when I got to be there and the way we interacted with this, I was like, wow, this is crazy to feel not only how weak they would feel, but also see how they feel.
Right.
No, yeah, it's I think the best thing that you kind of described is the art of letting go. And then, yours is still that, having the spirit that kind of almost is telling you what to do, which is I can only, it's hard to describe with words because it's only something that I felt, but then I know you've taken it so much further.
So I'll tell you an example story. Actually, what happened once was I was going to go into a piece doing. I know I was going to tell a love story, right? But love, as in it could be anything, right?
Right.
So what happened was I knew the name would be No Strings Attached. And going into the piece, I started working on it. And what happened? I was okay. We're gonna have the couple in the forefront of the piece, and we'll have I forgot their name, but the little guys that
Cupid
with the Cupid, with the arrows and shit like that. I don't even know. I put in my piece, but I need to have that in the corner shooting a piece. But then I was struggling with what is it shooting at, right? So it's like it. Logically, it doesn't make sense, right? But in my mind, at least, it's like, no, it's got to be there, And so you just go ahead, and what happened was, you go around doing your thing, and then I saw a tomato can. I was like, okay, shit, maybe that's the solution. And so I had a tomato can, picked it up, and I used it as a reference, drew a tomato can in there, and that thing started adding up. The story started building, right? It's because I trusted in the process. And that's come from a long way of not trusting and learning how to trust more. And what had happened was it just made sense that the thing shot the tomato sauce came out of the can into the spaghetti, and I recreated the Lady the Tramp scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the one stretch of noodle, both of them sharing, and it's called No Strings Attached. It turns out after the piece, I'm done. I'm like, shit, what does spaghetti mean though? I go look up what spaghetti means, and actually it turns out it means strings. Way after I called it No Strings Attached. And it's this story with that concept, but it's almost like this is fucking, I swear it's fucking weird, because like it's almost like things start adding up, and you are, as the person putting out there, you are also the audience. It's so weird. It's just I've learned the skills, but it's so humbling because whatever is out there, why do you trust me so much to tell the story? You know what it is?
Do you feel like it's an outer body almost?
I don't know. I don't know. I just know because I can be very logical. I just know it's what it is. That's the only way I can say it. And I know that feels spiritual. That's all I know. I haven't really tapped and researched a lot of that stuff. I just know to do it. I'll probably turn insane or something, I just know, hey, just do this, and trust and process, and this will happen. People react. You've done your job. Get the fuck out of the way. Start a new thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. That's how I navigate life.
Yeah.
So with that being said, it sounds like when you create a piece, you showcase it, and then you I don't want to say you remove it from your life, but you move on from it. Do you not have a piece that you have that you hold so dear that you have like emotional attachment to,
So I had a friend, he's very Nigerian. We're all Nigerian. We love money, you know what I'm saying? Love money, man. So
we all got them emails.
You know what I'm saying? It just didn't make sense. Maybe I'll reach that point when I'm 68. I don't know. I just know it's never really made sense to, this is going to stay. I don't know if I can
let go of it.
If you offer me, if it's the right money, take that shit away from my place. You know what I'm saying? It was a great moment. It was great knowing you, but take that shit, give me the money. But I went artist though, because I know a lot of artists will, something is dear to them.
Right.
I do respect it. I do envy it as well, because I can see how they've reached that point. Because I've also been in that moment where I'm like, oh wow, it's almost like you fall in love with the process, and low key you're like, shit, only for the right price, right? But you know how much work you put in that shit, right? And you're just I don't know if I can let it go, right? But at the end of the day, with the right dollar, I'm gonna give that motherfucker away.
There's nothing wrong with that,
and that's okay. Yeah, I'm just asking. So there hasn't been a piece yet that you've made where it's like, I gotta keep it.
No,
not yet. Okay.
No.
Hey,
we're waiting.
No.
Still a long journey though.
No,
when you're in the industry, you're in the arts. It eventually becomes something that you're like, you gotta do it for yourself, and that's where your path is kind of leading right now. You are doing it for yourself, and that's what's involved though. It's being able to fund everything that you love, anyways. So I think that's the beauty of the art, is that you may not have attachments to it, but it's funding the life that you're living, and it's giving the opportunities for you to open up your art to the world.
I lied. My bad. It's a self-portrait, actually.
Okay.
Oh,
My
okay.
bad. So it's a self-portrait I did. I don't think I can give that shit away because it had. So I drew a picture of me, but it had earbuds connected to a heart. So I think that's going to have to be a reminder for me. It's a personal story, right?
Yeah.
That's going to have to be a reminder for me not to, this way too much. you know?
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that's what it is.
And I'm curious too because on your bio it says actor and director. Like, how do you get into that? Like, we haven't really touched upon it.
So with the directing part, it's not like it's anything large or whatever. It's more so just a little project I've been curious with. I think if you start a photography thing from start to finish, you are in every way, shape, or form, you are a fucking director.
Oh yeah.
And so I've been in those spaces where I cook up the story, I meet certain creatives, we take time, whatever it is, effort, the whole work, and everyone comes together and we just like execute that plan or that vision, So I think that's been a lot of times where I've directed certain stories or scenes, and it's been a trip. It's been cool. With acting, I've also been in certain small movies and projects. Here and there I would do commercial shoots or acting, and so I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay with that part of life. But that's why I added there in my bio.
Yeah, because we were talking in the beginning, and you love movies.
Yes, sir.
So, and we kind of like stepped off of it, but I wanted to bring it back in because we were talking about our favorite movies, and then you had said one, but you weren't sure if you still want to call it yours.
Sound of Music.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Sound of Music is emotionally connected to me because that was a movie my family loved watching all the time. We all gathered, family would just watch Sound of Music, and I said that. But I then said, is it though? Because I was, connected to it as a kid, right? But it does remind me a lot about just like the circumstances we were growing up and how we were attached to theater, my mom, my dad, everyone. This is something we all agreed with, but it was in the form of entertainment, and that didn't really happen a lot, but Sound of Music, that should definitely happen for sure.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Lion King though, because you kind of hit it on the head. Like I kind of still say that's my favorite movie, or at least childhood movie, but it's just like always just gonna be there, just because it's like childhood memories.
Yeah.
Because of childhood memories.
Yeah.
Emotional attachment because
Dude,
of
that was like my comfort movie.
It's just like music too. Music to me is more than this, like, yes, I love music, but more for me is nostalgic moments that happen in my life. Where whether it's a funeral or a wedding or whatever, right? At those moments is because those songs. Whenever I'm listening to that kind of stuff, in those kind of moments, I'm like, okay, I can remember that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I get the with like a movie too. There is emotional attachment in a way because of the nostalgic feeling that you kind of get.
Well, you just think of the time of where you were at, and then how you felt at that time, so you can remember that feeling. Right. That's all it is.
No, I remember with a memory of Lion King one time, I smashed my thumb in the car door, crashed on my hand. My thumb was destroyed.
Purple, huh?
Purple,
Lost
split.
an L?
It was nasty. And then my parents are usually really hard on me, especially my mom, when I would like fuck up like that. But this time they were just like really comforting me. Like everybody was outside doing yard work. I was laying inside. It was only my hand.
You did it on purpose.
No, dude.
I know that story too. I got
no,
it.
bro. Hey.
I didn't want to do no yard work.
Hey, chill.
Every one of them in his room had it.
It was busted, bro. It hurt. And then I was just like, my favorite thing was strawberries back in the day. So I had a bowl of strawberries watching Lion King. Everybody else was doing chores, and I was just chilling.
Hey, he was chilling.
Yeah, I am the youngest too.
That is,
yeah.
you don't have that ability when you're the oldest.
No,
you
don't.
can break your arm and then you're still doing yard work.
I am fully aware.
Yeah, we know.
I was the youngest, so I was baby too.
Yeah,
but I was only boy, so actually my dad did drag me around at the end of the day. So
yeah, it was being the youngest has its pros and cons. Let's say that.
Yeah,
because Southeast Asian parents are very strict, right?
Well, yes, yes,
Southeast
yes, yes,
to a
yes.
certain degree.
I would just say Asian
It really
parents.
just depends on like Southeast Asian parents are more so like as long as you get your shit done and you do what we ask you to do, you're fine. Like you do it. That's it.
I would say it's more like there's a level of expectation that
Yeah.
you know about.
Yeah.
And then they want you to reach that level, but they're not. My parents weren't crazy. And they
Yeah.
also kind of
Well, you were the last.
Yeah. Oh, well,
See,
oh, well,
I was
okay,
the first,
different.
so it was more hard on
My
me.
parents were crazy with my sister. a
Yeah,
little
so
while.
it
They
was
were my Chris, my brother.
when it
yeah.
got to when it finally got to the youngest one, they were just much more easy on
like,
my.
yeah,
It's like we already dealt with the first three. Like you're okay, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it was more accepting. Like, let's say I was not good at school. I was barely bringing home A's or B's ever. I was more of a C
Really?
student.
You're a
I was
C student?
Very C student. D, F student.
You're talking about high school then.
No, all throughout.
All okay.
Elementary school,
Damn,
slow.
really,
Middle
Moose?
school, slow.
Really?
High school, I got better because I learned how to.
Because
do stuff.
I fell off in high school.
No, well,
Elementary and junior
I
high,
was a slow
straight A's.
kid. I was a slow kid, and then plus I was very sensitive. So I mean, there was a lot of things. There's a lot of variables, but then when I got in high school, I found out what I like to do, and I was like, oh, I'm excelling now because I can do like more art. I can do more what I want because I went to an off-campus class in high school, so that was like when I just like, fuck, I got this. But
Yeah, you get the ability as a younger sibling to do that kind of stuff. So when I tried to do sports, I couldn't do sports because I had to be at home taking care of my siblings.
oh, it
My-
wasn't.
when-
Yeah.
So my parents always work. Like we would talk about this a lot, but when my parents, Southeast Asian parents, the only thing they know how to do is work. That's it.
Work and cook.
Yeah, and like there's no love in the house. You don't feel this emotion that people talk about in this world that you live in until you finally get out there as an adult, or you finally meet the first person you really care about outside of your family, and then you're like, oh, that's what that feeling is.
I had
And-
those moments with my parents. It was like
you're
weekend
the
mornings. You know what I'm
youngest.
saying?
But it's like some words were never exchanged sometimes at all.
Yeah.
oh, true.
You know what I mean?
You know?
Like
Yeah.
it's a dead silent in the house. We're eating a meal and there's some words just never being said.
Yeah.
at
That was
all.
every day.
No,
Yeah.
but see, we didn't even have those opportunities
Yeah.
because my parents always worked. So when my mom was at work, my dad was at home.
Yeah.
So we always switched off on who. So there was never that exchange of words. It was like when dad was at home, I had to make dinner. It was, okay, did you finish your homework before you made dinner? I'm like, well, you told me to make dinner first before I could do my homework, right? So those were my exchanges with my parents.
Yeah.
Right.
I had really good parents, man.
No, I mean, my parents
yeah.
are great. My parents are great,
No,
but
for
also
sure.
it goes back to being the oldest one. I had to take care of all the younger ones.
Yeah.
While doing all this stuff. So I see Asian parents in a different light than the younger one would.
Well, my family dynamic is a lot different too, because me and my sister were doing a lot of the heavy lifting. My brother was the one that got to be rebellious, but he was the opposite. He was rebellious, not exactly. You were Cinderella.
Oh, you is that what you're calling him?
Yeah, he's Cinderella, man. He had to cook and clean for the whole family.
But the shoe didn't fit. I didn't get the fairy tale ending.
You did.
They tried it on. They're like, he's a 13. What the hell?
She was funny as hell.
Oh my god.
But with this journey, where do you see yourself going with, arts or whatever was in your bio? There were so many things that you kind of touched on that you kind of just kind of pulled away. You're like, I love doing this. I want to try this.
Yeah.
And you put it into this real world place of being creative. So where do you see your creative space growing?
So personal journey is traveling, soaking in cultures. I don't know. I've just always been open to what's the world, and it sounds dumb, but a lot of times I consider myself as a citizen of the planet, citizen of Earth, and just travel, enjoy, soak, and do art. Replenish. With my my art pieces as well. I'm trying to moving in that direction, right? What would happen is a lot of times people from specific cultures will go around and tell stories from those cultures, and that's perfect. That's great, Personally, I just want to be a sponge where I go adapt and just experience that and tell the stories of that, whatever it is, just tell the stories of that. For the community, I want to give back with, from Nigeria. It makes sense for me to go back and help, be a part of the movement, culture, with art, and there's just a couple Nigerians I really generally I respect, because they are not telling the stories how traditionally they've been forced or told to, or try to be conditioned to tell the story, even as artists. No, they're saying no. We're gonna do things a little different. They're doing things with aliens, but it's Nigerian stories, Nigerian culture, but it's aliens, and they're doing. It's like, yes, this man, this is is anyone looking? This is the Da Vinci, of what he's doing right now. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to just go and give back to the community. What I don't know long term what that necessarily looks like, but it would be especially searching special, talents, whatever it is that I feel like they need help pushing. Hopefully, I'm in a place that's successful enough to help that person or that community.
Do you have anything planned for the future? Because I know recently that you just did do a showcase with a bunch of other artists. Wasn't it like last couple weeks ago? Wasn't it a showcase essentially?
Yeah.
Like Afro Fu was there.
Yeah.
And I think there was like 3 or 4 more, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So that was there's a camera store I go to a lot. It's called Acme Camera.
Okay.
And they they gave me the opportunity. They liked my work and they invited me to display my pieces. And man, that day was special as hell.
Yeah.
That was different because certain people I didn't think that were gonna come, they pulled through and supported, and that shit was crazy. And
That's awesome.
so I felt the love from the community from Salt Lake. That was pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. And just being there and showing those pieces to these people, explain what was going on in real time, like what the process and the whole thing was was nice, too nice. But moving forward. Yes, of course I want to show my pieces and shows. Of course I want to collaborate, whatever that looks like, right? But more so, I want to sell these pieces.
He said, I don't want to just show them. I want you to buy them.
I want to sell, but it's not just because it's the monetary aspect. It's more so, oh wow, that person has it in their home now.
Yeah.
And it's more so just, it feels good someone buying your book. If you do have a book, or it feels good, someone understanding life, how you understood life or understood whatever it is concept, how you did. So it feels special. And it's just, selfishly, that's a thing that would be nice,
Yeah.
No, that is cool because I feel like whenever you buy something from like an artist or like a one-of-one piece, like it feels very personal. It feels nice to have in the home.
Yeah.
So I totally get it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, because a lot of time growing up too, because I did a lot of like graffiti, and it was more so for me like what spots I can be at where people can see that I did something,
Yeah.
And so as an artist, I would like even doing clothing and stuff. I'm always amazed to see someone wearing our stuff outside that I've never met before, or it's like, how did you get that shirt? We even had a shirt that was at the DI.
Really?
Yeah, someone sent a picture and it was like, who even had that shirt first of all?
What
and
shirt was it? Was it
was
old ass?
it was a the Dragon Ball one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It was crazy to see because
DI?
they sent the picture to Amy and I'm like, which
Who
one
was
of our
it?
friends had that shirt that but now it's in a place where
was it?
more eyes get to see it.
Just
Whether someone buys it or not.
Somebody's
It's
just
cool
gonna
that you
have
get to
one
see
day.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sandy saw it?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So she was
Stop.
thrifting and she saw it and she's like, hey, you guys are in a thrift store. I was like, well, that's crazy.
That was your brand or off the...
It was our brand.
The brand, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was, and it was crazy because it was one of our older pieces that we didn't really even fully release. So we know there
It was
was
one of the close homies then.
Yeah.
How
So
do you, what the fuck?
but still that is there and people are now seeing it and even like our friends are like, oh wow, this is cool that you guys have something inside the store. I'm like, well, that's not a choice, but it's cool that
It's just out in the
that
wild,
it's there,
That is crazy to think. It's like, dang, you're old. you got shirts to the fucking vintage store. You're old.
Well, honestly, just think about it, right? Like 20 years from now, we're just going to be walking around in this old vintage, like more about nothing tee.
Probably.
And like, damn, when'd you get that?
I've been here.
I've been here.
I've been here.
So aside from the art and stuff, what do you like to do? Because it seems like you're really diverse in everything that you do. So you kind of just pick up things and then it becomes more art.
Right. I love to have a good time. I love being in the kitchen, chefing, just cooking it up. I love reading, not as much though, but I'm trying to get back in the game. And I love a lot of sports, So I guess with sports, I've been very curious that way. Basketball, football. You gotta make sure.
Yeah, make sure you
make
have
sure I
that.
don't say soccer.
Yeah.
But football and table tennis, the whole. So I like to just get busy, get my hands in whatever I can, and if I'm good, I just keep it going. But you know what? I've been thinking a lot about this shit though. Low key, I do want to MC sometime.
MC?
MC, yeah.
Like just an event?
Just something small, start something, humble and shit. But you know what I'm saying? Just MC, see what happens. Because I think sometimes I do bring a kind of energy into the room. I don't know, but I think I do. So I'm low key, and if they throw tomatoes and shit on me, it's cool. Then I know, right? But
It's a good experience.
But it's I want to do things that scare me, right? And I do know. I say this now because I said no to a friend that wanted me to do it. I was scared. I know, but going in the future, that's something I'm kind of curious about, though. See what
MC,
see what happens. Yeah,
okay.
It's funny because I never think about stuff like that, like to have an MC at the event until we did our wedding, and then my brother-in-law, he was like, "Hey, you guys have someone speaking at your wedding that kind of guides people and stuff," and I was like. Whoa! I thought people just knew what to do. I thought our seating chart was enough. But it was more so. It was like, okay, cool. And then when I saw it happen in person, I was like, I get it. Like it's.
Well, how was it though? Was it to your taste? It was cool.
It was amazing because he was able to divert the attention from people.
It was Kenny, wasn't it?
Yeah, Kenny. And so he was
So
like,
good.
He was like telling people, like, hey, this is coming up.
Kenny
Please be seated and stuff like this. And there's the UFC fight going on, so he was like doing that at the same time.
There was a
so
UFC
funny.
fight going.
Dude,
on?
it was. What was
During
this?
his wedding?
It was
October 22nd.
Who was it? I remember being up at the table and he's like that, and he's like that. Whoever that was lost, and I was like, it was an Islam fight. I remember that.
Was it?
Yeah.
Islam?
Yeah, I remember that. I forgot who was fighting, but he was fighting, and then that happened, and he was just sitting at his table, was like, and I was like,
guys
okay,
are crazy.
But no, it was amazing to see that because I once again didn't think about having a DJ at the wedding. I didn't think about having an MC at the wedding, but those were stuff that it kind of pulls in the crowd in a really well way. Like you have a DJ there for a reason to kind of see and how the room it feels. And now they can play this certain song while people are seated, and then when people started wanting to dance, they can kind of pick up the music and do all this stuff. So much more respect to DJs that are doing this stuff that can kind of visually see that, and then also having an MC to also pick up the pace and slow down the pace and tell people what to do and tell people what not to do, or even just have a conversation, up there just speaking, it kind of pulls the attention towards that way.
Yeah, Kenny did an amazing job. Maddie and I were sitting on the table next to him, and we're like, wow, he's freaking made for this.
Yeah, history
teacher.
Oh, yeah, dude.
He speaks in front of teenagers that don't know how to speak.
Every day.
Yeah, every day.
Every day.
But yeah, so like with what you're doing now, do you see yourself going into a direction where it's not just art?
I don't know. I just that's a crazy question, bro. If it's not art, it would be something with definitely. But then again, it is art because I've always wanted to do something with wood, like carpentry. I don't know why I've always just yeah, it is art, I guess.
Yeah.
I think almost everything is.
At the end of the day, everything's art.
How you look at it. Yeah, it's just how you look at it.
It's the art of business.
Yeah.
For like
whatever it
shipping
is.
and receiving.
Right.
There is an art of that.
There's always a
You
fucking
can. You
art,
can make shipping beautiful if you want to.
No, that's the first thing I think of, man. Everything else, no.
But yeah, just that kind of stuff. God willing, I do want to write another book.
Okay. So book for sure.
Yeah.
Are you more of a fiction guy or nonfiction guy?
I like them both.
Like them both?
Yeah, I love them both.
You write them both too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love I just finished it's Viola Davis's book. It's called Finding Me. And that book was so good. I had to do a piece for her. And it's, you can look it up. I pinned it to my post page, but the art piece of her, but that something that like it, that's what art does, right? It pushes you, and she put art and writing, and that I just felt like I had to do a piece for, just to represent what I understood from what she was saying, But, yeah. Y'all should definitely check that shit out for sure.
Yeah.
I need to get back on reading.
I haven't read a book in so long. I'll
bad.
be real with you. I really haven't.
I read one this year. That's it.
Last book I read was Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. And that was like
That's a good one, though.
4 years ago.
I need fiction though. I'm like, when I had a string of just like either biographies, memoirs, or like anything fashion related I could get my hands on. But then after a while, I was like, I do just miss reading like a fantasy book or
That's why I read
anything. Yeah,
That's why I read mangas.
True that.
Which one do you read, though?
Mangas?
Yeah.
I read all. I read.
He reads every single one
I
that's
read
out.
so many, bro.
What are your top three
Right
One
now,
Piece.
Yeah, right now.
I mean, we'll take out One Piece,
Yeah.
and I'll say Blue Lock has been really good. Shangri-La Frontier's been really good.
Well, I hear about it every Thursday.
Bro, there's another one I was just reading. Why would I forget? I just picked it up. Too.
Blue Lock's a soccer one.
Oh, No Longer Allowed in Another World. This guy's like super depressed, and he was trying to commit a double suicide with his shorty, right? Because he's not depressed. They just want to die together, so it can be forever type of thing, right?
But it's like their
Ew.
interpretation of love.
yeah,
right?
yeah. So they,
figured,
yeah. So they want to die. They want to die together,
Interesting.
and so they do die. And what happens is they both get sent to the same world, and he's trying to find her this whole time, and then he finds her, and he's different because he's met like wonderful people along the way, and so she sees life in him now. And she's like, "You can't die with me anymore because it's not like you're not the same person you
But
were."
aren't they already dead?
But they're in another world,
Yeah,
alive.
Okay.
Yeah, and so he sees her finally, and she's like, "No, you have," because she sees the people behind him. She's like, "You're not for me anymore."
What's the
That's
name
so
again?
anime.
No longer allowed in another world.
No longer allowed. In another
Yeah,
world.
and so apparently she gets a power,
That's beautiful.
and I guess they name certain people, and so she's one of the 7 deadly sins, and she's pride,
Right.
and she wants that man to grovel for her, and then they'll die together. But he's not at that point, so she's like, "You're not going to die with me because you got so many people that love you and that you're fighting for and living for."
Damn,
you
Japanese art
selling.
is so deep.
You selling me really good on this.
No,
right
it's
now.
really good. This shit, I love this shit. This is shit I love, man.
It's so funny because they're serious about it, but
You sound that passionate, right?
Yeah. But it was so funny because when you were like, "But I thought they were dead," I was like, the whole entire time I was thinking it was a scary movie. When he's like, "How do you go to sleep alive but wake up dead?"
That's the only time I can actually descriptively tell a story is when I'm talking about something I'm passionate about, honestly.
He's very passionate about music and anime and manga.
And women, but yeah.
And women. I didn't want to say it. He said it.
He is living his own harem right
He
now.
really is.
I did Saturday. It was crazy.
Yeah, I see your stories. I see your stories. Yeah.
I be chilling, man.
You chilling for
If P can get one good picture from the night, it was successful.
And I did. Oh, actually, I did.
You did.
I did. You're right. You're right.
Every weekend it's just like, oh, there it is. He went out that night too.
Bro, I just gotta make sure that they know. I mean, that's my art. I
They
have
already-
fits on, man.
I'm out here.
They already know.
Well, just so you don't forget.
Okay. Oh, that's fair.
You don't forget, right?
I never forget.
Oh, okay.
I look forward to it every week.
Exactly. This is the homebody of the group, so when he gets to see that pic, he's like, "Good shit, P.
job.
I'll see you on Monday to talk about it."
Yep. I'll take like a cool, like moody picture on my story about what I did at home. And I was like,
Yours are funny.
Yours
It'd be
are funny. I
It's
think
either
yours are- you
Harvey,
like-
it's
you like
Harvey, or when you guys are outside walking, Harvey is like a leaf.
I like
Yeah.
Daddy's more than I like yours because it's of you. So I can just
Yeah, of
see
you
I can
doing
see,
it.
Like, yeah, I can just see. what
mine
you're
is like
doing.
I love doing stories. I don't know why. Ever since they came out, I'm just like, oh, it'll be gone and nobody will remember. Except for if you look on my page, I got like
So it's your journal, right?
it's a journal. Yeah, I
People
love journaling. But then it's like I have on my page. It's like I look back and you can see all the stories that I've done just on my feed. So I was like, I'll put them there if I really like them. But they're nothing crazy. But it's just like it's just like a little fun thing to do.
I mean, what else do you post though?
I mean, it's either me and my wife on my posts or moody ass pictures of my life.
or Harvey or some,
Harvey.
or some music.
You post like boba and
music.
shit like
No,
that?
I do it like I'm a little bit with the food, but not really. It's like like stories, right? It's like artwork of like either Batman, Joker, Looney Tunes, The Muppets,
Okay.
or Sesame Street randomly. That's all I can think of right now. Or like pics of my weird, obscure pics of my shoes or like something that I'm wearing, but it's always from like this because I think it's cool. Or it's like, yeah, I repost a lot too. So I am very active on that way. Okay. But I don't know. It's very moody. I'm glad you guys like it though.
So what do you think of people that just don't post then?
I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Like social media is like it's a different world.
It is a different world.
Like it's literally like going into, like in the movies when they like get sucked up into like cyberspace, or like Wreck-It Ralph when he goes on the internet. It's like literally going somewhere, but it's like on your phone and you're just like seeing all these other people doing all this other stuff, and it's all this like just content. Right. So I feel like if you are not posting, it's fine. Right. And even if you like, let's say if you're an artist and you don't post, I think that's fucking cool.
He likes the mystery, though.
The mystery to it, especially like actors that don't have social media. I'm like, you fucking bad boy, you.
I'm fucking glad you said that. Because like right now, a lot of artists, the algorithm's constantly feeding me artists complaining all the time, like what's going on right now. But a lot of artists are just complaining with fighting the algorithm. Because the quote unquote stereotypical artist is Mr. and Mrs. Mysterious till they push out stuff. Yeah. And we God forbid we're not trying to have our pieces be called content. Over our fucking dead bodies.
That's a really good point.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I think like the way that people are really good at selling themselves on social media. And I think that's also a very good skill to have as an artist. Right. But then also I feel like it goes both ways. Like you can kind of operate in the world and do art and like be consistent, but you don't always have to post. Right. You can let it out in different ways too. I think there's definitely a fine line, and it depends if you care. I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah. Okay. If you care, post. If you don't care, do whatever you want.
Yeah. I mean,
got the wisdom, yes sir.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That's actually funny you say that, because remember how we started the clothing brand, and then we hated when people called our stuff merch.
Hated it. Yeah.
We hated it.
No, they said that.
Yeah, well, people don't, like
they don't refer.
They don't associate it.
And a lot of the time too is when you're coming up and like there was a 2010s, early 2010s. Nobody was thinking about merch, right? But then the term merch became really popular because all the YouTubers were releasing merch at that time because they were selling all their clothing. So there was like the Jake Pauls, the Logan Pauls, everyone was selling merch. Yeah. So when we started our brand, they were like, "Oh, you guys have merch." I'm like, "Oh." Oh, I wish you guys wouldn't have said that.
You can call it that, I guess.
See,
as long as you're buying it.
Yeah.
But they never bought it. And so I'm sitting there like, okay.
Well, you saw it in DR.
Yeah, I saw it in DR.
It's crazy. What the hell?
But we're coming towards the end of the podcast. This is where we usually open the floor. If you have any questions for us, ask away.
Shout outs. And then we usually end it off with a segment called the Chef Special, which is free advice to the viewers, or because you are a chef, a
recipe that you want to share with people.
Don't play. Yes, sir. Man. Question though to y'all, for real.
Yeah.
Do you know, should this not quite work? Moving forward, do you know what you want to do? Because I selfishly want to still see y'all working together. Whatever it is. But I want to see y'all working together, but not just in your, like putting it out there, whatever that looks like,
Yeah, I mean, I'll go first, because one thing I did say, like Tay and I have been doing stuff together for years without really any reason aside from we want to do stuff. So like, I think we all like kind of have our own outlets at this point now, especially since it's been a lot of years. So to answer your question, I know we just keep going. Like we would, even if we like stop doing the podcast, who knows, it could be turning into something else or supporting each other in our own individual paths, which I still feel like is a unit, Yeah. So like if it doesn't work out, we still love what we do. And then we're always going to kind of be supporting each other, whether it's like supporting each other directly and working with each other, or just like doing our own things, because we all love movies, fashion, and music. So I think all of us will kind of find something there. Okay. For me, I was like, I started doing this thing where I don't like talking about it until I do it. It just doesn't. Oh yeah. Because I'm the type, if I talk about it too much, sometimes it doesn't happen because I just keep on talking about it.
Push yourself away.
Yeah, I'm like kind of that guy, because like I was telling these guys about like a short film idea I had, and it felt really good because it was just in my head. and then on my notebook. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be fucking amazing. This is great, because when you're talking about how kind of when you're just kind of letting it go, and after you look back at it, you're like, oh, that was amazing.
Right.
Like it was kind of that feeling, and I don't like talking about it too much, but it's like doing actually writing film, whether it's like a short YouTube video or just anything like that, and then also just keep on drawing and designing, whether it's like a physical product or not. I'd love to do a physical product, but you need money.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay.
I think for me, with the journey of this podcast, it has opened up more creative avenues for me. Like, I began to fall in love with photography, videography, editing, all this stuff now behind, being behind the camera. So, and with the podcast, once again, it's given me the opportunities to go out there and really just try new things that I didn't think I would ever do, like shooting a music video, you know, and then seeing that come to life. And I'm like, wow, I was the one behind the camera. Like, I didn't think I could ever do something like this. Yeah. And then also, I still wanted to do something with clothing. And if it's not with clothing, I do want to do something with food. And these guys will always be involved in that, because that's just where...
That's kind of how we work.
You know, yeah. It's like, whether this doesn't take off, we're always going to find the next thing that we can push each other in.
Yeah. I think, just to piggyback, I think we all agree upon like tackling this first thing that we did together and making sure that we put everything that we could personally into it. Yeah. And if it doesn't work out the way we want it to work out, there's many avenues that, and relationships and networking and people that we've met that can further help us in our creative outlets. You know, like I said, Tay just started, he's doing all the editing and videography, and he just learned this past year, right? I feel like I haven't done shit in reality besides talk to a bunch of people. But at the end of the day, I've met a lot of wonderful people that help me, you know, when it comes to event planning, understanding where I can get locations, how I can sell more tickets, how I can get more people involved. I've been doing a lot of that, actually. So I think that we are all in the space where we just want a lot of people to be around. And whether it's you want to see art, whether it's you want to see a show, whether it's you want to buy some clothes, whether it's you want to have a conversation, I think that all kind of just coexist, and we're going to be able to find out a way for people to do that at the end of the day.
Because all this was like just one big, awesome experience, right?
Yeah.
It's just, for me, I say it all the time, it's just like, we've invested a lot into ourselves in this way, and you were kind of selling yourself short in the beginning, but then you kind of saved yourself at the end. It's like, there's all these like little things that we kind of just got better at, and plus we grew kind of together too. Yeah, and plus, and I know we always got to support whatever we do on that.
It's just understanding your role, you know.
Understood.
And like once again, you can always pivot from a role or grow in that role, but it's like we all have this specific role in this group. And I think we all have a good understanding of where each other are at. Like Tay knows not to ask me to do certain things because I'm just not capable of doing those things. Yeah. And we can't ask Moose because we just know Moose is not capable of doing those things. Like so we just know how to navigate through with each other at the end of the day.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me know if y'all trying to collaborate in any way.
Yeah, we're actually working on something here soon, and we might have
We have that conversation after, you know.
Because the reason I say that is because I'm always trying to show my pieces. They're pretty big, you know. So if we can work on, you know, certain kind of people like art enthusiasts might be at social events, whatever it is. Yeah. Let me know. I will jump in the next train, car, whatever it is. I'll be there. You know
we actually have something in the works right here.
Yeah. So you let me know. But shit, I don't know what to say. Then my IG is EHE the world. I tap in with me seriously because I'm if you feel like you're lacking a little depth in your life, just jump to my page. Let's have a conversation, no real talk, because I'm always down to go deep or whatever it is, So like I'm that person. I'm that crazy person as well. So I'm just passionate about, obsessed actually with art. So 100%. Let's follow each other, please. Let's connect. Let's talk. Let's collaborate. Let's have this piece's bug. God damn. But thanks for having me on the show.
No, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
To end it off, though, chef special.
Oh yes.
Free advice or viewers for the viewers, or a recipe that you would like to share with our viewers as well.
Yeah, I'll go with the recipe.
Yes, we haven't had
It's-
these in a while.
Yeah, we have a recipe.
It's actually from my tribe.
Okay.
So my tribe, it's called the EBBO people, the EBBO tribe.
Okay.
And my favorite meal is it's called afiai fere. My mom will probably call me and say, "Man, you did not pronounce that shit well." You know, I've been away too long. I can't even speak my language. But I can understand a little bit, I think. But no, it's easily one of the best things that's ever gone to my mouth. Real talk. It's flavored. It's just you especially when you have the right person doing that. It's already good if you just follow the recipe, but then someone puts in soul. Oh my God! I don't know. I don't know what else to say. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a lot of yam.
Okay.
You boil it. You put in you pound it. It becomes more of this doughy, almost mashed potato paste feel. And then the soup can have goat's meat. Can have, if you want, you can have periwinkle in it. Periwinkle is a sea animal. You can have catfish, all kind of fish in it. Oh man, it's good. I was thinking about it right now. I can't be talking too much.
A lot of us.
I
He
can't
said
be doing
it's
this.
dinner time.
I
I'm
cannot
hungry.
be doing this right now because I just had a burger before I came here.
Oh,
that is
God.
not the same. You know?
Yeah.
It's not the same.
I hear you.
But yeah, that's something I feel like the world should try because
Yeah.
it's you don't like seafood. You can substitute with something else, sure, but it's something I feel like a lot of people in the world should try.
Yeah.
You know,
Say it one more time for me.
it's called afiai fere, but you can. It's also called white soup.
White soup.
I never knew why it was called white soup. It sounded
It's not
weird.
white? 'Cause
White
it's not
soup.
white?
Yeah, I don't know why it's called white. It's not white at all.
Yeah, that don't sound white.
doesn't look-
Yeah, it don't sound
It's
white.
a
Don't
lot
look
easier
white.
to order.
Where's the white from? You know, but it's called white soup. That's the English term, white soup, and pounded yam.
Pounded yam.
Yeah, white soup and pounded.
I love yams, honestly.
Yeah.
It's coming around the season.
Oh God, yeah.
Sweet potatoes and yams. Thanksgiving's coming around.
Oh God, that sounds so good.
So good.
But thank you, Eddie, for joining us here at Off the
Appreciate
Menu
you, brother.
Podcast.
Appreciate it.
Everyone out there, please go and follow and hit up Eddie. He said he wants to go in more depth, and that's a perfect guest that will be able to give you guys the opportunity to speak with, because a lot of times that doesn't happen. You know, and so if you guys want to have a conversation, you guys will have everything in the description below. Make sure you guys go follow Eddie.
He's multifaceted. So if you have a vision, he has a camera, he have art, and it makes sense to him, he might be able to help you.
This is episode 119 Off the Menu Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace out, y'all.
Play excellent, play beautiful, play proper, stupid.